All right, let's go ahead and start. So with this practice problem, I kind of added an extra protocol on here. So originally you only had to do link aggregation control protocol for this, but I'm going to try to do the same thing, but also with port aggregation as well, just for extra practice. So in this practice problem right here, looks like we're going to have to configure link aggregation EtherChannel with the number 44. It's going to be configured between the two links between both of those multi-layer switches. And we have to configure that channel as a trunk. Yeah. So, and then after that, we have to manually configure a separate VLAN monitoring and make that the native VLAN for the actual port channel. So let's go ahead and start. So first thing we want to see is which interfaces are actually active. So we know we got 1 and 2. So that's good. So now we know we get a range of where we need to go. Phase 0, 1 to 2. Now at that, we can go ahead and set the channel group mode passive. Good. So now we can go on the second switch. You always want to make sure. Okay, it's 2. Interface range at phase 0/1 to 2. Channel group 44 mode active. There we go. So now we know both of those are down. Yep, there we go. Do show interface brief. Now we can see port channel 44 is there. Now we connect to that interface and set it to trunk. So port 44, switch port mode, trunk. So yeah, set that. Mode, trunk. Switch port. Oh, sorry. Trunk. Encap. So what's important? So switch port cap encapsulation dot 1Q. Forgot. And I also have to set it where it tags. So there we go with encapsulation tags. So there we go. So now if I do show interface. Show there we go. Gotta set the encapsulation first. But key point, you gotta do it on both ends. So now if I go over here, interface. Now you're able to do it. So now, if I do interface trunk, I can see the trunk interfaces that are on here. Boom. So now we need to configure monitoring as the untagged, so as our native. So exit that. VLAN. So it doesn't. So originally, I guess in this original problem, they're gonna give you VLANs monitoring, and then you have to set it as the native VLAN. So in this one, we're gonna just create our own. So VLAN name, we'll call it monitoring. Then at that switch port. Then at that. Yep. So I'll X out of that. There we go. go. So yeah, got that done. So wait, let me make sure before I even skip that part. Do show ether sum. Okay, so you can see we got our port channel set as 44. We have the protocol set, link aggregation control. Boom, that's it. So now that's set, and if we want to check, do show interface trunk. We can see that yes, we have a trunk interface set, and it is using 802.1q for tagging. Yep, and we have our native VLAN as well. So switch port. So if we go to interface PO44, do switch port. So we can see trunk, so we can see mode, we can see access, priority, native, and we can just set the VLAN from there. So VLAN, we put the number, which is 10. And that's it. So for this port channel, we try to go up. Ah, wait, it's a mismatch. And that's because, see over here, it's 10, but over here, it's 1. So you got to make sure doing this. All right, so switch port, trunk, native, VLAN, 10. Wait, did I don't think I set a do show VLAN brief. Ah, see, I didn't set the VLAN over here. See if I go here, boom, do show VLAN brief. You can see I have that over here. VDP would have been cool to have, but I didn't want to configure that yet. So exit. So exit from there. VLAN 10 monitoring. So then we'll go name monitoring. Make sure I'm spelling it right. Yep. So monitor. Oh. Okay, I know, guys. Let's see. Give me 1 second. VLAN 10. Oh. So VLAN brief. So that's the VLAN. Then we know name is monitoring. So now if we do show VLAN brief, we got monitoring. So now if we X out of this, go to interface 44, switch port trunk, native VLAN 10, do show. Port consistency, so it's unblocking that port. So now, since they're consistent again, you're able to actively access both ports interfaces on both sides of the two switches because the VLAN native VLANs are consistent. They have to be the same. You can't have one end set with the VLAN 1 and the other one set to 10. That's why it got blocked initially. I was going to bring that up in another example, and I'll go ahead and do port aggregation as well. It's basically the same same process, but instead you know different protocol. So interface range FA0 1 to 2. So over here, channel group 44 mode. So I'll just do active on both ends. So this one is active, and then you go on this side. Mode, interface range, FA01 to 2, channel, group, 44, mode, passive. So I set this one to passive, this one backwards. So now we're set up. Boom. So now we have port aggregation. But now remember, we got to go in, configure the VLANs. So VLAN 10, name, monitoring, on this switch too. Go in here, VLAN 10, name monitoring, and then since we got that set up on both ends, we can go ahead and go into the interfaces. So interface 44, switch port, trunk, native, encap dot 1, switch port, native, VLAN 10. And then over here, I already did that one. I didn't do this one. So that interface port 44, switch port, trunk, encap dot 1Q, switch port, trunk, native, VLAN 10, switch port, mode, trunk. Then over here, remember, we're going to get that initial, so switch port, mode, trunk. There you go. See how we get that original inconsistency when I did one end of the interface and the other one was still set to 1 until I set it. But after that, boom, they're both set. So if I go here, so if I do show ether sum, you can see that it is set to, wait, am I on the right one? Oh, my fault, y'all. I did the same one again. Oh man, silly mistake. So this is what I'll do. I did the same configuration twice. Let me go ahead and how do I want to do this? Didn't even realize I did the same one twice. Dang. Oh man. Oh, I'll do like this. Wait, no, I don't want to do that. I want to keep it clean. So let's go ahead and how do I want to do this? So basically, I kind of did I basically solved this problem twice. I solved it twice. So yeah, we'll move that over there and we'll just configure this one from scratch. So on the actual test, I would have gotten 100 on this because I did this twice. This is a little extra that I'm doing right here because I kind of would like to test on both protocols. The only difference really is that, the modes that you put, but still, see how I thought I was putting one mode in, but it really wasn't. That's why it's important to verify, make sure you're doing the right thing. Okay, so, but hey, I did the same thing twice. And I did the second time a little quicker. So interface. I really sat there and did the same configuration twice. Now this video is going to be a lot longer than it should be, but hey, you're learning and I'm learning too. You're going to make a lot of mode auto. There we go. Sorry guys. So auto. And then you set this side. So no interface T, interface range FA01 to 2, channel group 44, mode desirable. There we go. Okay, y'all. Okay. I don't know why I'm moving that one, but so both of them are down. Now they're up. So now if I do show ether sum, there we go. Now you can see port aggregation. So now on this side, we need to configure those VLANs. So VLAN 10 name is going to be monitoring like before. And then on this one as well, exit VLAN 10 name monitoring. Now we need to go into the interfaces on both of those. So interface port channel 44, switch port trunk encap dot 1Q, switch port trunk native VLAN is 10. And also on here, we need to configure that as well. So interface port 44, switch port, trunk encap dot 1Q, switch port, trunk, native, VLAN 10. So now switch port mode trunk, and then switch port mode trunk. There we go. There we go. So now if we go here, do show VLAN. So show interface trunk. We can see the native VLAN is set to 10, the one that we set. And we can see we have an encapsulation tag. So we have tagging. So this is where all the untagged packets frames, they'll be sent to the native VLAN. Yeah. Video was a little longer than expected, but appreciate you if you stuck around. Thanks for watching.